Hallo, servus, habe die Ehre, hello 1102. Those actually are the first two things that I've asked for you to do from the email that I delivered. Servus und habe die Ehre. Okay, the last one was Pfiat euch. So these are three typical Austrian sayings. So that's your first task, is to try to figure out what those mean. Obviously, we don't have class today. Sorry for the last minute notification, but too much to do with my dissertation, so that takes priority at this particular moment. In any event, the tasks that I have for you to do, okay, I'm going to briefly go over these adjective endings. I'm briefly going to go over the wo and wohin Wechselpräpositionen situations. Okay, I also, well, let me get started with this. So, just recall that the definite articles here, we're starting with the nominative case. If it's, excuse me, if it's singular nominative, der rote Pulli, das blaue Hemd, die braune Jacke. Okay, remember when we're talking about those things, we're basically just describing what they are. If you're talking about the red sweater that's laying on the bed, der rote Pulli liegt dort auf dem Bett, right? Or das blaue Hemd neben den Hosen, or something like that. Okay, it's basically just describing what it is. All right, and then if it's plural, die schwarzen Schuhe. Just recall that these are used. Nothing is happening to these objects. They're just describing what they are. All right. The same goes, and these are considered preceded adjective endings. Okay, because they're preceded by the der, das, die, or die article. All right. The next row, the indefinite articles. Okay, we're just changing a couple of things slightly because we have two uses of the indefinite article ein, one in the masculine, one in the neuter. So because those two match, the adjective ending has to tell us what the gender is of that noun. So ein roter Pulli versus ein blaues Hemd. Okay, the feminine stays the same, eine braune Jacke. All right, and notice that we eliminate the n from die schwarzen Schuhe to simply schwarze Schuhe. Okay? And then the unpreceded adjectives, they're exactly the same. Alright? Deutscher Wein, kaltes Bier, frische Milch, schwarze Schuhe. Notice that if I were to describe these, I'm not talking about that I drink German wine, okay? That would change to ich trinke deutschen Wein. All I want to say is Deutscher Wein ist gut, right? It's signified by the verb sein, ist. Alright? Kaltes Bier ist besser. Versus ich trinke kaltes Bier. Although that would actually be the same in the nominative and the accusative. The only one that changes is the masculine. Okay? Frische Milch ist sehr gut. Okay. So as I stated, den roten Pulli would be used in a situation like the gentleman is buying the red sweater. Der Mann kauft den roten Pulli. Okay? Ich trage einen roten Pulli. I'm wearing a red sweater. Okay? Ich trinke deutschen Wein, as I had suggested earlier. Okay? So the rest of these, the neuter, the feminine, the plural, all stay the same. But note that these are all objects. Okay, the sweater is being purchased, it's being worn, the wine is being consumed. Okay, that's how you have to distinguish between the nominative and the accusative. And like we've discussed already, the dative, they're always going to have an en ending. Okay, die Frau mit dem eleganten Kleid ist da. So just remember that you have to pay attention to key words such as the dative prepositions. Right? Aus, außer, bei, mit, nach, seit, von, zu. Okay, if you have any of those. Or a dative verb such as antworten, helfen, gratulieren, gehören, gefallen, something like that. Okay, so here they are. in the table. Alright, the unpreceded might be a little bit trickier. For instance, deutschem Wein, kaltem Bier. Those are sometimes paired when you're talking about food and beverages. Alright, zu deutschem Bier isst deutsche Weißwurst. Okay, basically it's saying with German beer he eats Weißwurst. Alright? Wir sind mit guten Freunden ins Kino gegangen. Okay? We went with good friends to the movies. Gut. Now, to talk about the different accusative and dative verbs used when we're talking about the prepositions of a destination versus a location. Okay, remember wohin is always going to be accusative. Alright, so the verbs we're going to use for this are going to be stellen, legen, hängen, setzen. Okay, so if you notice all of these, they start with a subject, ich, and this could be any subject. Du, sie, wir, ihr, es. All of those would be in control of the situation, right? It could even be Markus, Stefanie, Hans, Franz, Markus und Stefan, okay, if it's plural. So anytime you see somebody's name or a pronoun such as those, and any one of those verbs, typically it's going to be accusative, because they're going to be doing something such as stellen, placing something in an upright position, such as a vase or a bottle if you were going to put this on the table. Legen, okay, if you're going to lay a rug, right, or place a rug, or anything in a horizontal position. Hängen, if you're going to hang the calendar on the wall, okay, there's some kind of movement, action, accusative, okay. Setzen, ich setze mich in den Stuhl. Think of like to set down, and then when you're actually sitting down, you just change it, the E to an I. Sitzen, okay, then it's dative, okay. But we're not really too concerned with setzen at this particular moment. So, once all those objects, right, that you've placed or put on the wall or something like that, now they're all in their fixed position. So notice that the subject, ich, disappears. Okay, those objects, die Vase, der Teppich, der Kalender, they're now all the subjects. Okay, now they're the ones in the fixed position. Okay, die Vase steht auf dem Tisch, der Teppich liegt vor der Couch, der Kalender hängt an der Wand, ich sitze in dem Stuhl. Okay, so your next task, actually here, hold on one second. Well, these just give you basically the differences between the accusative and the dative. I'm going to have these posted in Moodle if they aren't already. Basically just going through the process, right? Accusative, think of cleaning your room, think of getting ready in the kitchen for a dinner, setting the table, all these aspects. Moving in, if you're moving furniture, all right? And then the end product is if you were to walk into these rooms and everything was already in the fixed position. So the accusative is all the action going on preparing it. The dative is the final product. Good. So your next task, okay, is to watch the video that I've put in Moodle, all right, and that talks about the Wechselpräpositionen, all right, so the two-way prepositions, and I want you to explain two things, all right. And about midway, they talk about schwimmt in dem Schwimmbad versus schwimmt in das Schwimmbad. Okay, and I want you to explain to me the difference between that. All right. I also, right after that, want you to explain Sie klettern an der Wand. Okay, and tell me why it's Sie klettern an der Wand. Okay, and then lastly is to complete this task, which has both adjective endings and also two-way scenarios. Notice that there is opportunity for Bonuspunkte down here. Danke und viel Spaß. Tschüss.